Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your December 2017 reading. Valentine joins us. You can just make out her shape in the background. She's cut herself a little groove in the feather duvet. She's like that. So Sagittarius, okay. I'm surprised you're still speaking to me after the weekly reading. If you haven't checked it out, go and have a look at that. It went up on, well, it covers November the 25th to December the 2nd. Less said about that the better, I think, Saggy. So, December 2017. Clearing up loose ends for you. Might not be as simple as that, perhaps. You've got a lot going on. Everybody has, okay? So, Jupiter went into Scorpio in October. That kind of brought out the sleuth in everybody, globally, politically. It's about Scorpio is sex and death and transformation and not being afraid to go into, go down the stairs into Hades and root around in all the gack and the goo and whatever it is and find that golden nugget of truth and bring it back up the stairs. So no stone is being left unturned. I mean, all of our institutions, particularly in the UK, America, and a lot of places, are being looked at, questioned constantly. What used to just pass through and nobody noticed, everybody's noticing. And what's more, they're questioning. It's good. It's uncomfortable. We don't want to be comfortable. Jupiter in Scorpio is not comfortable. It's like, yeah, we did comfortable when it was in Libra. Now it's in Scorpio. No more fuzzy niceness. No more relationship balancing. We're going to pick it apart. We're going to look over the entrails and we're going to put it all back together again better. Okay. Then in December, we've got a full moon in Gemini, which is a super moon, so it's potent, which is blabby and it wants to communicate all those secrets that are being picked up. It wants to talk, it wants to broadcast. And on the same day, Mercury goes retrograde. And it's like Mercury then untunes the radio that would have communicated. Yeah. So what happens is, and for you, of course, Saturn leaves your sign on the 20th of December, I think. Moves into lucky old Capricorn, where it's quite at home, actually. So for you, it's almost, and this is just my thoughts on it. I mean, Saturn is sensible. Is he going to kind of give you two fingers up when he's on his way out of the door? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, bye, that sort of thing. That's how it feels, isn't it? I feel like Saturn's come into your house, if your house is your emotions and your life plan and all the things you used to use as props and all that, and just, actually no, he's not going to do that because that's untidy. That would be me. No, he's more kind of, I've taken an inventory and I've decided to move this and that's out of date. Did you know that was out of date? Yeah, that's gone, and all that kind of stuff. And then says bye on the 20th of December and you're left, oh, that's for you, sitting around considering, looking at the kind of well-organised wreckage of what's left. And then Mercury's retrograde as well. I feel by the time you get to the end of the month, and of course you go into your own solar return because it's your birthday, you're going to be feeling quite shiny and new, quite peachy. And you deserve it. I mean, kind of reminds me of that film that I don't know the name of, obviously, with George Clooney and about the ship. Where the whole film is just this ship kind of going in stormy waters. But I feel like it's really going to level out. I really do. I'm not just saying that, Saggy, to make you feel better. And, you don't take platitudes now. You've had Saturn too long. Platitudes won't cut it anymore, Gemstone. That's all right. It's not a platitude. 2018 for you is a clean sheet. It's perky. It's perky. Nice. Right, let's have a look at your cards. I'll stop blabbing. Good. I think you had that one in your weekly, actually. Yay. Cool. So here we are. Hanged Man. Saturn's not quite moved on yet, although it isn't. It's not far. You can do that Shawshank Redemption thing where you're counting down on the wall. Like, so you have the Hangman. Things are in suspense. Or as I like to say, things are in suspenders. The Hanged Man, you know, it's a Neptunian card. There is also an element here which should never be forgotten, that it's voluntary to an extent. That there is enlightenment coming. That there is enlightenment forming. They often, in the Rider-Waite and the Mythic Tarot, they have like a halo, the crown chakra. It's slow, it's like hanging meat, you know, it's has a lot more flavour when it comes down. That's gross. It's slow epiphany. Slow epiphany. And I like it for you. That's what you're undergoing. Again, you also get the Hierophant. Now this is often in the Hierophant, it's shown as like the priest or whatever it is. This can be any kind of philosophical guru, and you are a Sagittarius, so you are all about the philosophy. Your gurus, your teachers, whoever you turn to, have great advice to share with you, especially now you're coming out of one transitional period and into another, where I feel like you're going to have a release of ideas and opportunities which will coincide with them. You may feel quite giddy and quite blabby, and this person will just be able to help you direct it and to ground you as well. And then we get Two of Swords, the carving the turkey woman. I love this card. Now, Two of Swords, you've been with the Hangman, you've been kind of, whatever inspirations you've had equal and opposite frustrations. So, irresistible force, immovable object, ends up with you doing nothing, which is what happens when Saturn visits for so long. You kind of feel sort of frozen by anxiety, I suppose, just immovable. Just you can't, you know, you go that way, that happens, you go that way, that happens, you think, I will stay here then. Two of Swords in reverse, you see the reverse? It's starting to cease and desist in December. It's not just going to be, you know, December you just glide through. There are bumps, there are obstacles. Mercury's retrograde, which can be savage at times, but for you, very helpful. You've had this for a while. Three of Swords in reverse too, but great to see it in reverse. This is third-party situations, betrayals, sorrow, stabs in the back and the heart. You know, it's taking something on. It's being got at. It's trust broken. It's all of those things, but it's in the reverse with the Two of Swords in the reverse. Yes. And then Seven of Wands in the reverse. Good. Seven of Wands is cyclical arguments, old patterns, old arguments, old drama. It's drama, 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 drama. Arguments and drama, all that were based on whatever this Three of Swords in reverse was, that often left you so exhausted you didn't feel like you could actually do anything. Psst. Adios. Adios by the end of December. Adios. And then, two cards here. Nine of Wands, a defence. I feel at the moment, for the month of December, that's healthy. Often when the Nine of Wands comes up, you would say to somebody as a tarot reader, you know, you're too defended, you're guarding your heart and all the rest of it. For now, yes, that's okay and necessary and quite normal actually, considering what's been going on. Healthy defence. And then we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse. You're not supposed to be, and I'm sure I covered this in the weekly reading, and it wasn't too popular then either. December's not your time for accepting or even getting offers of love. You got too much going on, I'm afraid. Sensible Saturn says, oh, I'm not sure about that for you at the moment. You know, you need to be focusing on these other areas. Great, you say. But plenty of time for that in 2018, people. Plenty of time, because believe me, when that's in reverse, it's really naff. You know, it's rubbish love offers. It's half-baked crumbs. You don't want that. You don't want that. And also, you won't accept it anyway. Not with those defences up. That's why they're healthy and good. Then in the middle of your reading, the Nine of Pentacles, sometimes known as the single happy person card. But more importantly, for me, in this deck, she looks like she's recovering in a really nice dressing gown. And I feel that's important to note, you know. You need some style. It looks sumptuous. It looks like she cares about herself. The bird of paradise is kind of visiting. Pentacles are coming, the garden is growing, it's healthy. And often, and definitely this person, any gurus that you have can help you with this, often what happens, of course, is as our, I was going to say mysical and mental, that's good, isn't it? As our mysical and mental health picks up, oh my God, I'm like some sort of Spike Milligan throwback. As our physical and mental health picks up, so does our libido, so does our creativity, so does everything starts to colour in where before it was black and white, okay? And that can make you a bit kind of champing at the bit, a bit raring to go. Too soon in December. Mercury retrograde as well. Relationships started in Mercury retrograde turn out often to be flaky. At the bottom of the deck, the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Zippity-doo-dah. So, being left out in the cold, spiritual poverty, but in your case I think it's actually quite financial. Previously, the Pentacles were kind of, you can see them in the church window, but they're not being invited in. Either that or they don't feel like they're worthy of going in, or there's a mismatch of communication. Whatever it is, when it's in reverse, it means it's an end to that tightness with money. And then you get the Eight of Pentacles. I think this is Sun in Virgo, this card. This is steady. 8 is a nice, dynamic but solid and reliable number. Steady work will pay off. All the way through, you've been doing this anyway, Sag. You've been working, knocking out the pentacles, making sure they're high quality, putting your bit in, trying very hard. This is a kind of Saturn card as well. But it leads to the 9, you know, it's working. It's happening for you. Again, probably in December, not the time for big changes, not the time for all these really quite brilliant ideas that you're going to be having that are going to be coming up from this much more healthy you. And while you're not so distracted now with this Three of Swords business, what are those cards doing in there? But at the same time, best to kind of just stay where you are with the work, knocking out the pentacles. You can't have 5 of those cards. Right, shall I just concentrate on one thing? I'm going to, there it is. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Jack Spezzano's Enlightenment card. you get the Truth card, and it's healing. Truth comes in lots of different ways, which is a weird thing to say about the Truth, but I'm a Pisces, but you're a Sagittarian, so you're mutable, so you're going to understand, and you're the philosopher. I was talking about this the other day in a daily reading. You know, there's 3 versions of the Truth. My version, your version, and the Truth. Not even sure that that's right. Truth is a dynamic thing. Obviously, we live in an energetic world that changes constantly. You know, I saw my GP a couple of weeks ago for a standard blood pressure check. He did it, and it was horrendous. And we both went, that was bad. A couple of minutes later, while I was still chit-chatting, he just did it again. Up it goes. It was fine. It was great. And I said to him, you know, how can it be that 1 minute my blood pressure is not great, and then 2 minutes later it's really quite good? And he said to me then, you know, the body is a very dynamic thing. It's changing all the time. Your cells are changing all the time. Everything's changing around you. You're changing internally. And I thought, that's very enlightened for a GP. And it kind of got me thinking. And the Truth, if you think of the Truth as a body, it's not just going to stay the same. It doesn't. So what you're doing at the moment, Saggy, in your brilliant Sagittarian way, and it's deeply done as well, and with the assistance of decent gurus who are in tune with you, is you are kind of formulating your own dynamic truth, rather than what I feel that you've been doing in the past couple of years probably with this Two of Swords, is you created a stalemate truth. A little bit like, let's say, I'm going to go down another weird tangent, Saggy, but I know you're good for it. If we were talking about the Matrix film, where there is the kind of real world and then there's the Matrix part. You constructed a matrix to live by because you had to. But it was a false world of black and white that never changed and wasn't real, but was necessary to support and hold you in that situation. This card, so full of colour, is going to drop you back into the truth. But the truth does not stay still, it's not black and white, and it's not a construction that we can control. But it does set you free, Saggy. I'm glad I got to the bottom of that. I bet you are too, if I still even have an audience. Okay. The love cards that you get are fear. Okay, we knew about that. That will pass. Fear of inadequacy. That works both ways. Fear of being adequate for someone else and fear of them being adequate for you. This is why we're not accepting cups in December, okay? Good. And then tenderness. And this is about you showing some tenderness to others. It doesn't even need to be romantic. Just to practice, just to keep your hand in, just to be gentle, just to receive. You're going to need it later. Yes. And unsurprisingly, you get the Clean It Up card. This is after Saturn has very neatly and tidily been through all your stuff. And you're left with what you're left with. Good. Ooh. You're getting 2. Still some work to be done then. You get meditation. Now, I always say with this card, it's important, doesn't have to be, you know, the complete situation if it drives you nuts, which it does for me. Walking is a great meditation. Walking by a river, walking a dog, doing the washing up and staring at the bubbles, focusing on a single object. Could be a brick. It could be your hand is always a really good one. You know, the actual process of, you see more and more and more the more you look. Try not to do it to your face in the mirror. It drives you nuts. You think you see yourself aging. Unless that's just me. It's like Benjamin Button. And then you're like, ah! That's not very calming. Oh, God. Then you get intention. Set your intentions gently. They're going to be really over-ambitious. As your colour comes back to your cheeks, as you fill back into your life, as you get away from that black and white matrix that you lived by, as the truth kind of flows in its beautiful way, you're going to feel really quite overshooting the marquee. Set your intentions gently, because you don't want to fall down, okay? Use this guru, this person, this advice, this help book, whatever it is, use that to guide you. Saggy, if you want a private reading or donate to the channel, you can do that in the description box. I think I've just blown my mind in your reading. I'll have to go and have a lie down now. Or you can visit my website, gemstonetarot.com. Look at the weekly reading that's up if you dare. And I also do, obviously, daily readings. Tune in, have a listen to those. But most of all, namaste. See you soon.